Hello everyone, this is King James Speaks once again in the car. You see the rearview mirror. This is about as real as it's going to be. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about, what I started yesterday. We started talking about imposter syndrome, where it comes from, what it looks like. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about one of the triggers that can really either get it started or make it worse. And that is the way that you see failing, because quite honestly, failing and failure happens in our lives. I have a speech that I worked with Toastmasters for quite some time, and I love this speech because especially the way it starts off, because I ask people in the audience to give me some answers. It really gets people involved in an understanding of how this works. Now, I start off with a question, and I ask, if success was a recipe, what would be the secret ingredient to it? If success was, it's a recipe, something you're making, like a food or something. You've got the Food Network, you've got other types of food-based programming. You've got chefs on YouTube, TikTok, all kinds of people sharing great recipes. If someone was to share the recipe for success, what would be the one ingredient that hides in plain sight so effectively that you don't even realize it's there? Then I opened up to the audience for answers to that question. I've gotten some very interesting answers through the many times I've given this presentation. Almost every time someone says money, someone says talent, someone says technical expertise, and whether it's computer-based or not, you've got some kind of technical expertise. And all those are obvious ingredients. I'm not looking for an obvious ingredient. I'm looking for a secret ingredient. And I tell people, hey, these are all ingredients, but none of them are the secret ingredient. Again, I'm looking for something that hides in plain sight so effectively. And then I bring up how Abraham Lincoln faced this when he was in the military. Yes, Abraham Lincoln was in the military. Charles Dickens faced this with his first book. And you've already heard me talk about this, because this is the secret ingredient of failure, of failing at something. And they did. Abraham Lincoln was a failure in the military. Charles Dickens' first book absolutely bombed. No, it was not Great Expectations. These people went on from there to achieve great things. Whether or not you agree with the politics, the man goes on to be president of the United States. That's some pretty impressive stuff right there. And whether or not you like his books, writing one of the most popular books of all time is a pretty impressive thing. So what does this mean to you? You have to be able to look beyond that failure. But how do you do that? You have got to have an understanding of what failure actually is and what it isn't. And we as a people have for far too long believed that when you fail, that is a mark against you. You have failed. Instead of looking at it of, okay, I fell short, but I can do this. If you have failed, that makes you a failure in the eyes of so many people, and that is not the case. I'm going to say this one time, and I'll leave it at that. Failure is an event, not a person. And once you understand that, you have knocked off one way that imposter syndrome can get a hold in your life. You are not a failure. You're a human. And sometimes you will fail. But that gives you an opportunity to get back up and not try from scratch, but try from experience. Until next time, take care of yourself.